What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1995 movie Jumanji. So, when siblings Judy and Peter discover an enchanted board game that opens the door to a magical world, they unwittingly invite Alan, an adult who's been trapped inside the game for 26 years, into their living room. Alan's only hope for freedom is to finish the game, which proves risky as all three find themselves running from giant rhinoceroses, evil monkeys, and other terrifying creatures. Jumanji is an absolute classic. I love this movie. It's one of the most entertaining family adventure movies ever made. The concept alone is just brilliant. A magical board game that brings everything from the game into the real world. As a kid, I always wished that game was real and everything. I always wanted to have a game like Jumanji and everything. Wished that something like that would exist, except maybe without all the life-threatening dangers, of course. Everything, but it is a really fun time. Robin Williams gives one of his best performances of his career as Alan Parrish. One of my absolute favorite characters of his. And everything, Alan is just a really, really likable protagonist, and Robin Williams perfectly balances the character's heart, humor, and emotional vulnerability. He's just really, really great in here. Bonnie Hunt is also fantastic as Sarah Whittle, and the chemistry between the two feels completely natural, which is really, really great. I love it when the actors have great chemistry and stuff. I always felt Bonnie Hunt was a very underrated actress, too. The younger versions of Alan and Sarah, played by Adam Hanbird and Laura Bell Bundy, are also perfectly cast too, especially Adam Hanbird, who does a really great job at capturing Robin Williams' mannerisms and makes you believe that this younger version of Alan Parrish is the same character that Robin Williams is playing. And sometimes there is a disconnect between child actors and the adults playing the older versions and stuff, but this is one of the best examples and stuff. This one and World According to Garp are two of the best ones that showed like a younger version of Robin Williams and everything. But I thought that he was really a good choice and everything. Kirsten Dunst and Bradley Pierce are excellent as Judy and Peter. I think that them two with Robin Williams and Bonnie Hunt all have fantastic chemistry, and they are really believable in their roles. And I also like how they almost become like a family by the end of this movie and stuff. Jonathan Hyde delivers a lot of great in here too, playing both Sam Parrish and Van Pelt. And even though it's the same actor, both characters are completely different, and it really shows like how talented he is and everything. Like, I haven't really seen much of his stuff outside of this and The Mummy, but I do feel like his performance in here was pretty good. David Alan Grier is also pretty great as Carl Bentley. He's got plenty of humor and charm to him and stuff, especially like in the scene when he's in the shoe warehouse and everything. He's talking about these new shoes that he invented and stuff, and he's like, "This is the future," and then it gets put on the conveyor belt and gets destroyed and stuff. But he's just a really likable character, and he pops up throughout the movie when it takes the time jump and everything. He's now a cop and everything. I like a lot of the stuff they do with him. One of my favorite things about Jumanji is that you're constantly wondering what's going to come out of the game next and everything. Even though I've seen this movie a million times and I know what's going to happen, I still get that sense of wonder and stuff that this movie delivers and everything. And every turn raises the stakes, keeping the movie exciting from beginning to end. The film also has more emotional depth than some people give it credit for. Alan is, especially like when he discovers that his parents passed away while he was trapped in the board game for 26 years, and he comes back to find out that they've passed away and stuff. It's really heartbreaking and sad and everything. And Robin's performance in those scenes where he finds out his parents have died and stuff, and that his dad had really loved him and everything. Just really, really well written stuff and everything. And then it shows them going to the grave and everything, which is cool too. I also love how like Robin Williams brings like a childlike sense to the character that didn't really get a chance to grow up because he was surviving in the jungle. He still has that childhood innocence to them too. I like that as well, and everything. The practical effects have aged pretty well in here. Like the practical stuff is awesome. The animatronic lion and the spiders, they look really awesome. And the sequence where the house begins splitting apart and stuff towards the end of the movie is really good too, and everything. And I say that all that stuff remains impressive and stuff. There is other stuff that I'll get to here in a little bit on the visuals that I didn't like, but as far as the practical stuff goes, I think it holds up really well. And one thing I really appreciate is that the movie never actually shows what's inside Jumanji. Instead, it leaves everything to your imagination, and Alan's description of the jungle is so effective that you can picture how terrifying it must have been without ever seeing it and everything, which is something I really just have come to appreciate this movie and everything. That dialogue about seeing things that they can only imagine in their worst nightmares and stuff like that, it's just really, really eerie dialogue, and some of the best from Robin Williams in this movie and everything. Part of what just makes his performance in here so great, and it's very effective and everything. And it just shows sometimes leaving things to the imagination is far more effective than actually showing it, which I love the Jumanji movies with The Rock and stuff, but the jungle that they show in those movies is not the same jungle that Robin Williams describes in this movie and everything. And I definitely can say that. The Jumanji board game itself is also iconic. I've always wanted to have one of those ones that actually is like the movie, where the things move as soon as you roll the dice and stuff. Just really awesome prop and stuff in this movie. Like, it's really cool and everything. I've always wanted to have one of those. James Horner's score is absolutely fantastic. And here I love that, like, especially the main theme that's playing when Alan is riding his bike at the beginning of the movie. I don't know, like, the name of the theme, but I love that and everything. And then the drum beats every time the game uses the drum beats to call the players and stuff is really great too. As far as my favorite moments go, the opening sequence where the boys bury the game in the 1800s immediately creates an eerie atmosphere and is a perfect way to begin the movie. It's really, really awesome. And the kid is like, "What if someone finds it?" And the other one's like, "Well, may God have mercy on it, on their soul." Just really, really intense stuff and everything. I remember the first time I watched this movie, that opening just freaked me out and everything, but I also loved it too. Alan's introduction and the relationship with his father are really well written too. You can tell that even though his father is kind of annoyed with him and stuff, he does care about him and stuff, even though they kind of have that argument before the movie really takes place and everything, to add a little bit of conflict. But it's pretty well done. The scene where Judy and Peter hear the town stories about what happened to Alan Parrish when they're in the attic and stuff because they hear the bats is really, really eerie and creepy and stuff. Just the whole atmosphere in that scene is creepy. But when the guy is telling them that Alan Parrish was chopped up and possibly in the walls of the house, that scene always terrified me as a kid too. Like, this movie almost feels like a horror movie and everything, which is part of the reason I love it so much. The scene where the lion shows up in the attic when they first start playing the game used to scare me to death too. The eerie music, him stepping on the piano keys, and just the noises that the lion makes, the low growls and turning into the big roars and stuff, just it creeps me out. Just love it and everything. But the lion is one of the most awesome parts in the movie too, plus the practical effects on it just are amazing. Sarah trying to convince herself that Alan isn't real and stuff is hilarious because she's so over the top hysterical and everything, but it's also heartbreaking because you realize how much the events of their childhood affected her and stuff mentally, and also is a good way to make Alan and her connect and everything, because they both experienced a lot of stuff in the game totally affected both of their lives and everything, which I thought that was a good way to bring the characters together and stuff. The stampede crashing through the walls of the house is also a really awesome, incredible sequence. and everything. Even though the CGI in that scene hasn't aged the best, it still is one of my favorite moments and everything. Like the anticipation before the animals come through the wall and he's like, "Run! It's a stampede!" and stuff. Just really, really great build up and everything, which they do with pretty much almost all the things that come out of the game. I also love Van Pelt hunting everyone through the department store and everything. There was some really good suspenseful moments in that scene while also delivering some great slapstick comedy and everything. And also the stampede crashing through the town and almost crushing Peter when he's hiding in the car is really cool too. Everything. And then Peter trying to chop down the shed or the door of the shed in the backyard with the axe that he's trying to go into the shed to get cracks me up every time. I don't know why, but ever since I was a little kid, that scene always was just really funny to me. And also, poor Carl's police car getting destroyed throughout the movie. Like little things happen to it throughout the movie, and then towards the end, there's a scene where the jungle vines just completely tear the car apart and everything, with a great mixture of practical and CGI, and just really a great comedic moment with him. He's like, my car, but just really, really great scene and everything. But the ending is also incredibly satisfying and stuff. Alan and Sarah get a second chance at life, which is really cool and everything. And then by finishing the game, they're able to save Judy and Peter's parents and stuff by stopping them going on the vacation that they would have died in and stuff, which is really, really good and stuff. I really like that, and I really enjoy the alternate timeline aspect of it and thing, because it wraps everything up in such a rewarding way. As far as negatives go, my only major complaint is the CGI. And while the practical effects still look great 31 years later, some of the computer-generated effects haven't aged nearly as well. The monkeys, in particular, just look really, really terrible and stuff. It's hard to get down CGI monkeys or apes in movies and stuff. The new Planet of the Apes movies are a prime example of terrible CGI and everything, especially Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They definitely aren't near as bad as this, though, and everything. And the CGI on them are awful, and the mosquitoes and stuff. And like the stampede doesn't look the best and everything, but out of all the CGI in there, the stampede is the one that looks better than the other stuff, for sure. But that's not enough to really run the movie for me. All in all, I think Jumanji is one of those movies that defined my childhood. Like pretty much anybody who grew up in the 90s and everything, we all love Jumanji and everything, and it's still just one of those movies that I love to watch. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it and everything. It's the movie that got me into Robin Williams. It was the very first movie of his that I ever saw and everything, so I also have a special place in my heart for that, because he's my favorite actor of all time and everything. And it's just a really funny, exciting, emotional, imaginative, and filled with memorable performances. That it's just one of those movies that it's a comfort movie to me. And even if some of the CGI hasn't held up, the incredible practical effects, fantastic cast, and timeless adventure easily outweighs that one flaw. So I still have to say that this is simply one of the best family adventure films I've ever made, and I'd go as far to say that it gets a 10 out of 10 and everything. Like it's a perfect movie for me, and it's among Robin Williams' absolute best and everything. And I think it's probably my second favorite after Mrs. Doubtfire and everything. And there might be other movies that I feel like have better stories and even maybe better performances from him, but this one's still top-notch movie for me just because of how much it's had an impact on me and everything. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Jumanji, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody. I just want to say thank you for watching this video and everything. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and get more people going, help the channel grow. I really appreciate it, and thank you all, and have a good day.